Hello, we're back in Stu's workshop today. Stu, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
We're taking a look at something that we actually shot on the range a couple months ago. Well, almost 6 months ago now. It is a submachine gun. Can you walk us through it? Sure.
Actually, it's more than just a submachine gun. They call it the Sterling Police Carbine, being a shortened rifle. Even though it does look like a Sterling submachine gun, this here only goes semi-automatic only and was made from the factory semi-automatic only.
Right. Looking at it, we did a little bit of the history on that other video, and had some interesting comments come back about the fact that she kept tripping over and multiple rounds on one trigger pull. But we've got a few of the extra pieces out here. We can get a better look at some of the bits. Can you run through just some of the characteristics of it?
Sure, no problem. This here is semi-automatic, air-cooled. It's blowback. It operates within what they call API, or Advanced Primary Ignition, which is a fancy term saying that the firing pin is always permanently protruding from the bolt face.
Right, and as a blowback, this means it fires from the open bolt position.
That's correct.
As a lot of submachine gun type weapons did at the period. They were all open, some of the Russian stuff, and
yeah, the PPSH, for instance, or right. The MP40s.
We're all open face. We've got various magazines here as well, and some other bits. But can you just go through the extra accessories you've got later?
Sure, no problem. What we have here is the original magazines for the British Sterling submachine guns, or the Police Carbines. These are, if I remember correctly, because I have 34 rounds, and they use rollers for the followers instead of a stamped plate. These two here are actually the Canadian military magazines, and this holds 30, and it's a stamped plate. And this one here is a small, stubby 10 round, which would just fit in and be very, very compact, so you wouldn't hang yourself up as you're going in and out of vehicles, whatever the case. And because we're in Canada, all these hold 5 rounds each.
Right. The sling here would hook in as a standard sling, and when you collapse the butt down, it becomes a very compact firearm for movement and handling and just carrying.
Exactly.
And the other unique thing is it comes with a bayonet.
That's correct.
Which is always makes me laugh in a way.
Sure, and what's kind of neat about this is the history and development of putting a bayonet on is, first of all, a time-old tradition for the British to do, but they were having problems trying to figure out what bayonet to use, and they latched on to the Jungle Carbine bayonet because it was already a product that was being made. And eventually what they did is designed a contemporary bayonet from Sterling, which is basically a modern Jungle Carbine bayonet.
Very good. We mentioned in the other video that very simple components. We'll get into that in a minute. But the controls are, again, very simple. Simple selector, simple cocking handle, and basically three things: cocking handle, the selector lever, and the mag release.
Exactly.
Can you just point those out?
Sure, no problem. The magazine release is a button right on top of here, and you insert the magazine in, and you have to grab the mag and then push the button. So it's not really that ergonomic as today's firearms. Cocking handle is fairly simple. It's just right here, and you can really see how prominent it is. And the selector is right here. You can see right now, if you put it on safe, it's on safe. If you put it towards fire, it's on fire. And your trigger, very ample with the trigger guard around it. And you have, again, your front sight and your rear sight, and you have a small little control here to release the buttstock and fold it forward.
Very good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it. Again, a very, very simple firearm. And we'll talk a little bit about the parts that are involved there.
Sure.
Okay, Stu, we've checked the weapon. We've made sure that it is safe. We're going to do the strip on it. And again, this is going to be a very quick one because there's only about 5 pieces to the gun.
Sure.
All right, let's have at her.
Okay, no problem. Well, first things first is I'll have to fold the stock assembly. Just makes it a whole lot easier to manipulate. From there, depress the latch, push in the end cap, and rotate. It gets the end cap out. Pull back on the cocking handle until I reach the circular cutout. Cocking handle goes out, and the springs come out. And last but not least, the bolt. And one final thing. We set the screw from lock to free. Push out the screw. And we can drop out the trigger mech. And there you go.
And that was very, very, very simple. We're going to take a little bit closer look at the bolt face here. And you mentioned there's no firing pin. It's the, you know, when it comes down and connects and the bullet stops moving by the chamber, because there's a permanent firing pin protruding, it will automatically set off the round.
Yes, and as you can see, it's right here, and that's actually part of the bolt itself.
Right. And that's, how is that for wear?
It wears actually pretty well. Most firearms are made out of what they call ordnance grade 4140, usually surface hardened to certain areas, and it withstands quite easily. And you got to remember that your firing pin hits a soft primer, right? That's usually brass, so you're going to get very little wear out of, or damage out of that.
Any other maintenance tips if anyone has one of these and they got to look at cleaning it?
Keep it clean, keep it dry. Because it's open bolt, you'll get a lot of debris on the chamber face, and it gets dirty quick. And the only drawback is that it's very difficult to get inside your breech face in this type of weapon system.
Okay. So once you've done all your cleaning and she's good to go, let's throw her back together.
Sure. So install your trigger mech. Insert your lock pin. Go from free, rotate 90 degrees to your lock. Insert your bolt. And this is actually trickier than you probably remember, because the British ones actually have more springs or buffer system than the Canadian ones. So you want to line up this hole here with this hole here, and at the same time drive in your cocking handle. Once that's in all the way, it goes only part way. You got to squeeze the trigger. From there, insert your end cap, depress the latch, rotate, and that's basically it. Last but not least, safety function check. Lock the action. I'll put on safe. Squeeze the trigger. Won't fire. Put on safe. Sorry, put it from safe to fire. Action will go forward. Lock it back. Action will resist to the back. And squeeze one more time, and there we go. And I can put back on safe.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.